All right, welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Thursday, April 4th, 2024. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Anyways, let's get into it today. So, probably wondering why the video is out a little later than normal. I know I usually have my tight schedule here, but we had an eventful day in the markets here, and so I was finishing up in the trading room late. We do the members live stream at 4:05 on Thursdays, every Thursday. And I did not want to rush a video out at 3 p.m. Don't have anything really going on tonight. So I have to do the video a little bit later than normal. But in any case, markets happened to have a little sell-off, right? So we had a little gap up this morning. And I would say, this definitely caught me by surprise. First of all, this was not a 0 DTE move. Don't let the media tell you that's the case. It's not. It came from futures and shares. So, I watched this all day long, and there was no indication that 0 DTE wanted a sell-off. Those desks were pinning us to 52.50 all day. My analysis early on was, you can go back, check the video, the short video. We're probably just going to go sideways until non-farm payroll, right? And then we got an absolute blast here, came from futures, shares. Of course, 0 DT piled on towards the end, but every strike, I have not seen this since I've been watching it. Every strike that they put up there, 5,200, 5,190, 5,180, 5,175, they all got wiped out. So anybody, the Gamma Boys, as I call them, got wiped out today. What happened? Well, we had mostly, I'm going to say geopolitical. Part of me at one point during the day was thinking could be that non-farm payroll, the market, someone knows that it's going to come in cold. The reason I say that is because bonds were rallying pretty hard. And if that's the case, obviously a cold number, you think, the markets would like that. But if it's too cold, the market could actually panic and think that the Fed's not getting to cut fast enough. I'm not really thinking that's what it was. It was more so the Blinken comments. So obviously Israel launching that counterstrike, the market didn't care, right? Until it was Blinken that basically he kind of like criticized Israel. Said basically tell them to get their act together, or otherwise there's going to be consequences. And I think that's what destabilized the market here. And does it matter? I can sit here and talk about for days about the reasons, and we can write a movie about it and write a story about it. But we know that put selling has been going on, right? Buy the dip works until it doesn't. And that's how it works, right? It's not going to work once everybody who's wanted to buy has gotten in. And that's how you get blowout to the downside. It's worked very well. I've been saying that in these videos every day. Buy the dip until proven otherwise. And hey, I paid the cost of doing business today. So I had my levels here. We had a nice trade overnight. We bought the dip into the close yesterday. Worked out pretty well. We got wiped out on some of these dips intraday. The levels held for a minute. They came right back down. But that's the cost of doing business. And right now, you guys know, if you watch these videos every day, we've broken support, right? So 51.80, that was my big last line in the sand. And again, you can even see this trend line, which I care about a little bit less. I'm more inclined to, let's just go into the intraday here. We'll bring it back. That was the big level right there, right? We almost got there the other day and didn't quite get to it. Lower high and 52.30, again, that was resistance. We gapped above that today, and it didn't hold though. So lower highs there, and we smashed that level. 51.50 is the next area on the downside. So this is looking like a confirmed top. You have a wide range candle, gap and crap. We look at the SPY volume, just short of 100 million shares. Why was it short? Because the first 2/3 of the day was so light. So I'm assuming that kind of played into it, but close to 100 million, that's good enough. Gap and crap, look at the range here. We have not had a wide range candle like this. I think you kind of got to go back to like here, or even like right here. I don't know, unless you want to count the gap here, which is, that's what, 440 on the SPY to 449. That's 10 points, so 100 points. High to low today. Let's just use SPX as this. That's what I like using better. 52, 56 to, yeah, so 105, 110 points. So we haven't had that type of range in a while. We sliced it on volume. There's a lot of things that can happen tonight and tomorrow, though. We're dealing with bureaucrats right now. We just talked about this in the live stream. Bureaucrats, right? Governments, Blinken, right? Biden might be pissed off that this just happened. He could go and bully him into walking those comments back. Biden could walk those comments back. I'm sure he'll have a press conference at some point tonight or tomorrow. And that could alleviate pressures, right? If that happens, you can get squeezes. Hedges can come off. By the way, volatility up into the 17, close to the 17 handle there on the VIX. So hedges can come off if things calm down. Be aware of that. But I think that we've done too much technical damage to this chart. And it's just been a long time coming, right? We've been kind of knowing that 30% for the S&P in 5 months is not normal, right? Coming off the COVID lows, coming off of a literal 40% crash, sure. But not after a 10 to 12 point correction here. When the Fed is supposedly tightening. Okay. But in any case, big gap and crap. Next down, that's not all anybody cares about. Next level down, 5,100. If we gap down tomorrow, I think we go right into the 50 MA, into that 5,100 area. And then I think we could probably get a pretty good bounce there. If we gap up, you guys know already where I'm going with this. Gap ups are for selling in bear phases. Unless something gets walked back, Israel ceasefire, something like that happens. Let's say we gap above 5,200. I think we could actually squeeze then. Possibly. So small gap up. There's going to be a lot of people that are like, they're gapping it up just like they did every other time we had a down day. So we just buy that, and they're probably going to get run over. That's the way it usually works. So that's just giving you my kind of thought process into tomorrow. We have NFP. How much is that going to matter? I don't know. It's almost crazy because all we have is these inflation data points now. But with geopolitical stuff, that's taking precedence. Also, oil. Not really saying the market's cared about a cold number. Cares more about geopolitics. But 51 is the next level down. Above 52 would do a lot of repairing, and again, a lot. But really, to me, you got to negate this red bar completely with a close above that in order to fully repair, get out of the danger zone here. One last thing, I know I'm just kind of prefacing this with a lot because there's a lot going on. 5,100 is support, yeah. That's just daily chart, though. You got a one pivot here, one pivot there. If we just pull this back, where's your support on the weekly? That's what I've been saying, why this is dangerous, because there is no support here until 4,800. Previous all-time high, pivot high, this one little 2-3 week pullback. That's it. So there's a lot of air down here. And if, God forbid we get through that, it's down to 46. I don't think that we're going to go that deep right now. I don't think that's really even in the cards. But, it's worth pointing out anyway, because, God forbid vol selling turns into vol buying. It can happen quickly. So daily chart level 5,100, we're not that far off, and we'll see what happens there. I don't know if we're going to gap up or gap down. There's going to be a lot of things going on overnight. Futures closed basically flat after hours for the last hour. So no indication there, but we'll see where we're at tomorrow morning. Triple Qs here again, gap and crap, still holding this key level though. So 433, I'm going to say 75. We'll just say the pivot low. 432.74 even. A close below that is, you just wiped out the last month, 6 weeks, basically. So that would be a negative for the Qs. And I've talked about this, right? It feels like the market's going up and up and up every day, but the Qs are not. They're not doing anything. So weakness there, not good. IWM was really strong earlier. It was actually stronger than all the other indices, which again led me to believe we were going to be quiet today. But gap and crap, we didn't take out yesterday's low on a closing basis. That's a positive there for the Russell. Below this green bar, or even this pivot would be a big negative. But remember what I've been saying, like even today, right? We didn't take out yesterday's low. We didn't take out the low of the week. If the Russell sees money flow while the markets are correcting, it's not bearish in the big picture. Keep an eye on this. It's going to tell you a lot. Dow, huge gap and crap. Take a look at this level here. We actually scalped this in the trading room earlier, and then it just got run over. Absolutely destroyed on the diamond. Look at all this trading we just wiped out in one day. So next level, yeah, we have 385 here, and I'd have to work probably 382.50. Next level here, I'll have to do some more work tonight, and then really 380. So again, Dow 40,000, rug pull, right? They got it close, but no cigar. All right, so let's talk about rates here. So 2-year backed off again today, but nothing terrible. Like bonds got a bid, but I mean, this is still holding up. You still have higher lows. 5-year, same thing. 10s and 30s all looking about the same. Higher lows, higher highs there. I think this can back off and then go higher from here. But right now, definitely a little bit of a mixed bid there, considering that geopolitical stuff going on. XHB, that had a gap and crap as well, down 1.5. You know, it's still really no technical damage. Yeah, we closed below the 20, but we've done that before. You really need to get through like 105 and get through these pivots here before we talk about technical damage. Then you got the 50 MA 100 handle, and then, you know, 90, 95, 96. But again, XHB just continues to be stubbornly strong even on a down day. VNQ, look what it did. It tested that low and it came off that. So we'll be watching the weekly close tomorrow. That's going to be very, very important for the VNQ. XLF outside moved down, wiped out the last 2 weeks. So again, we got the weekly close above the double top. Just maybe a fake out, right? Little support at 40, weekly 20 MA. Depending on how fast we get down there, it could be minor. If we drift lower into it, it could be minor. If it goes down really quickly, it'll be major. But after that, you know, 38, and then again, like, look, no support, right? Except for this little bull flag here at 38. A lot of these charts look like this. All right, KRE, just down 10 cents. So interesting, right? That one's outperforming. Down 21 basis points. KBE down 29 cents. Again, that weekly pattern's still okay. Broker dealers also weaker, but still holding all the moving averages. So again, this is strong. Volatility sometimes helps these guys out, as long as it's not too much. Oil, I mean, even this a neutral to upside bias till about 90 to 92. And then I think it's going to run into a wall. But right here, it's acting well. And, you know, usually, you know, when you have a market sell, oil will sell. That was not the case here. So that leads me to, you know, confirms that this is geopolitical stuff going on. So oil remains strong. XLE managed to close down 6 cents, right? But again, oil was up and market was down. This is technically an equity. Only 6 cents though, nothing terrible. I will say about this, this is daily overbought. But weekly, look at this base we've put in here, and then look at the monthly. It's just a 3, 1, 2, 3 up on the monthly. Look what the spiders did on the monthly. Right, we had a 1, 2, 3 pullback, and then look what happened. So XLE, I mean, they can go higher, basically, is what I'm saying. It might want to go to double top, might want to pierce double top. It is overbought. I'm not saying it does or doesn't. It is getting stretched on the daily. We're just throwing that out there for you. Things can go higher than you think, especially, you know, make sure you use those larger time frames. XOP was green. OIH backed off of 350. So XOP and OIH showing a little bit of weakness, but again, energy is still pretty strong. CCJ came in. Again, we talked about $50. We'll see what it does there. If it consolidates, it'll go higher. URNM, pretty good outside move down. URNJ, also kind of an engulfing candle there, so that may need to do some backing and filling. World War III is happening, so short sellers definitely getting into nat gas because obviously you don't need gas for war. But yeah, inventory report today. Either way, rejection at the 50 MA, not as firm as it looked yesterday. So today was kind of a excuse me, kind of a make or break day for me on this, and it just didn't show up very well. If it firms up, maybe that'll change, but definitely a weaker showing there for nat gas today. Dollar index was down earlier, rallied back, excuse me, pretty nicely. By the end of the day, I think we talked about 104. That got hit, and it's back to flat. So dollar holding up again, risk off, makes sense. Gold also down, but it was up until the end of the day. I think, maybe somebody got run over enough that they had to dip into margin. When that happens, gold can sell and pull back. It does happen. But it's still, it's still trending up here. I think this can go higher than people think. I do think it's stretched and ready for a pullback, but I think, excuse me, long day here. I wouldn't rule out 2,400. So no sell signal on it yet. Silver backing off as well, but it held up for most of the day and then came back in towards the end. The miners are still okay, although GDX pulled back. These are just overbought. All right, platinum pulling back in. I still think that wants to go to close to 1,000. Palladium acting like nothing happened today. Still like that. And then copper got to our level we talked about yesterday, right there, pinged it. And a little tail candle, so that may need to pull back or do some consolidation. All right, Bitcoin here. Sorry, it's just a crazy day here. I'm doing the video late and everything. So Bitcoin holding up, right? So I did hear some reports last night about, again, I don't know how true it is or whatever, but it seems like citizens are trying to get their money out of banks in Israel and the Middle East and stuff like that, preparing for invasions and things of that nature. A lot of that explains a lot of the gold move. Could explain why Bitcoin's up. It's alternate form of payment, right? Also, look at the alts, right? Dogecoin green, and a day the market got thrashed. Right, so the sector itself is holding up okay. I still think it's in consolidation mode, but again, it's acting well, and it can just do weekly consolidation and work off those overbought conditions. All right, so again, just to wrap up here, outside move down, gap and crap, whatever you want to call it, big day. 5,100, that's going to be our big level here. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, if we're going to gap up or down. I don't know what the NFP number is going to bring. I'll be watching for trades tomorrow morning for sure. I would say 52 is going to be your big line in the sand, though. 5180 obviously would be a shorter term level, but to really stamp that, we're going to squeeze, I would say above 52 on a sustained basis, especially a closing basis. But right now, it kind of remains anybody's guess. I will say, though, that we've done technical damage. So all of these sell-offs here, right, even the previous ones that were on good volume, like this one, we didn't really damage the chart. This one's damaged it. Close below that green, that's a failed bear, or excuse me, a failed bull flag. Close below that green. Again, you guys get the idea. Semiconductors today, didn't even cover the semis. Wow. See, this is what happens when you get me all riled up and I'm doing the video at the wrong time. Trendline break, outside move down on volume. IGV, hit our level there. So into that nexus, that got rejected on volume, and the transports, engulfing candle. So lots of things here doing some damage. Again, 51 on the downside, we'll see about that, and then 52, we'll be watching that range there as we get into tomorrow. So anyways, guys, gonna wrap up here. You guys take care. Come find me on CarnivoreTrades.com. We'll see you guys all tomorrow.